right? Now, out of all the people we ran to come over, how many of them came? All of them. Every single person we contacted came. None of them had any idea why they were there. Nor did I, really. Right? But, mate, I was so fired up. Right? Because I expected them all to come anyway. Why wouldn't you? Right? Does that always happen? No. Can it? Yeah. But see, all you have to understand is there's people out there that you know that are looking for this opportunity. They're looking to get into business for themselves, to set themselves up. They don't want to get into this. They don't want to get into anything. They just want the result. Right? I'll give you an example. Who here, you may have heard this before, but who here can see the person, or is near the person, or seated next to them, or can see the person that contacted them about this business or showed them this idea? Who's near that person or close to them? Okay, do me a favour, just look at them. Right, now, what I want you to do is I want you to keep looking at that person. Look them in the eye. Or if you don't look them in the eye, look them on the forehead. Right? Now, as I'm talking, just keep looking at them. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Is everyone looking at that person? Right? Don't look at it. Just look at that person. Right? Now, as you're looking at them, think about this. Just look at me. Don't look at me, look at them. As you're looking at them, think about this. Are you looking at them right now? Everyone say yes. Yes. Right, as you're looking at them, think about this. Don't look at me, look at them. Look at them, look them right in the eye. When they contacted you, don't look at me. When they contacted you to show this idea, do you realise they were absolutely scared to death? Right? Now you're thinking, no, they wouldn't have been scared. We've known each other for ages. He can ring me or she can ring me about anything. You wait. Your turn will come. But isn't that a dumb way to think about it? Isn't that crazy that if you're in the room here, you've started the business, you've contacted someone and they're here with you and they're excited about it. Right? At no point once they're involved and they're excited about it were you thinking, gee, I wish I'd never rung them. Is that right? See, what happens is when you're contacting people to show them an idea, okay, the challenge most people have is they're thinking, oh, what's he going to think? What's going to happen if he asks me some questions I don't know the answers? That's even better. It's even better. See, the idea of contacting people to get them to a meeting is you're inviting them over to look at an opportunity. See, when you're looking at a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, you can't see it in a 3 or 4 or 5 minute phone call. It has to be a whole process. So have you ever heard this saying, have you ever tried having a haircut over the phone? Right? So the reason you need to do this with somebody, and I found it really helpful, was the reason I spoke to these people like that to get them over to my place is the reason I got off the phone is I had no idea what to say if they asked me a question. I mean, if they said, what is it? I had no idea. I couldn't say it's like this or that because I really didn't know what it was like. So I found it easy just to invite them and hang up. And guess what? If they're looking, they come. You did. Right? Everyone in the room here, there's quite a few hundred people in the room here. Every single person in the room here was probably contacted or shown the business or followed up or got started different to everybody else sitting next to you. Isn't that amazing? The principles were the same, but the techniques were really different. Okay, like Bill and Bryony had a totally different technique to Wendy and I, even though we followed the principles pretty close. Okay, everyone's a little bit different in the way they do it, but see, as long as you know what you want, okay, and when you want it, by speaking to people here, anything's possible. Do you think that there's other people not in this room that might be interested in what they can get out of something like this? Absolutely. Do you think there's also a number of people out there that don't want to do this? Is there anyone in the room that don't want to do it? Exactly. Right? But is that relevant? No. It's absolutely right. See, whether you succeed or fail, you're going to work. Okay, if you're going to work anyway, you might as well work at something that's going to give you the reward, if you know what the reward is. So if I can just urge you to just keep it simple, don't get hung up on it too much, and really just have a bit of fun. It's that's all, is just having a bit of fun. And once you've gone out there and got this thing sort of going, and someone's helped you get it started, you'll actually slowly you'll learn how to do that. Okay, like how fast do you learn how to do this? Well, again, let me tell you what happened to us. Okay, David came in and did a meeting for us on the Tuesday night. Bill and Bridie came in and did a meeting for us on a Thursday night in Adelaide. Okay, and 2 days later, I was showing people the idea. What was I showing them? No idea. Absolutely no idea. All I was doing was I had 20 4x3 cards, like those material records cards. I had 20 of those with my notes in longhand on them. Because I'd heard, but when Bill came and did that house meeting for us, I taped the whole thing, and then the next day I sat in the car, because that's the only place we had a cassette player. I sat in the car on the farm, okay, for 5 hours, right, writing it down longhand, because I'd never heard of shorthand or making notes. I just every word, like if I missed a word, I'd replay it right down. And I thought, well, I can't carry in these big sheets of paper, so I put it back on. I just had 20 cards with points, and I go in and I just read those cards. I walk in there and I'd put the wipe on, I'd say, "Hi." That's what Bill said. "Hi." See, if it was me, I would have said "G'day," but no, Bill said "Hi." So I said, "Hi. The reason we're here tonight is to talk about a business opportunity. Who here would like to become financially independent?" Yeah, and they'll put their hand up. If they didn't, it didn't matter, because I was just looking at my cards. They go, right, the reason for tonight is I'm going to show you how to do it. Right, the first thing is you need to work out what it is you want. What do you want? And then under that it said, don't say anything else until they answer. So I says, so what do you want? So what do you want? And they go, what do you mean? Well, if you had heaps of money and time, what would you do? Oh, right. And it's about this time they feel really sorry for me. Right? And then I'd always go, and I use these for years. I used these cards for years. Even when I knew what I was doing. I got really good at it. I'd always get to about the 10th or 11th card and drop the lot. Oh no. Every time. Oh, this is going to be, I get up and go, oh, it's going to be terrible. And I'd pick them up and I'd go, can anyone remember how many cards I'd turned over? Right? Or whatever. Now, you'd think, why would you do that? Well, the same reason that these people that helped us build the business kept it simple with us. Every time I saw them, they were reading things or taking it off a sheet of paper. Right? So I thought, because I watched them and think, okay, well, I can read. So I don't need to know everything. I can read. I can talk to people about the same thing they're talking to me about, because it's just duplicatable, isn't it? Right? So what we found was we just like we'd go and we'd show someone the plan, we'd go and show them the plan, follow them up, which you'll find someone explain it to you, but we'd follow them up. And we'd sit, then I had a sheet of paper with questions written on it. We still had this sheet of paper when we were Diamond. We go and sit at someone's coffee table, we walk into the room and say, right, first thing we have to do is get you a coffee table. And they go, why? It's because this is on the bit of paper, right? Works every time. So we sit at the coffee table and I go, so which tape did you like the best? Oh, I didn't get a chance to listen to them. Nor did I. I just, whatever they said, I agree with them, right? And then they go, but what I want to know is this. And I go, no, hang on, I'll have to leave that one, right? Because it's not on my sheet of paper. Right? Now, you can have a giggle about it, but that is, see, the whole key to this thing is that the business is so simple, it's so logical, it's so obvious. Okay? We can complicate it by knowing too much. Again, getting back, the reason you're in the room here is because you saw an idea, but more importantly, someone showed you an idea. Do you understand? It wasn't just a piece of paper. Someone showed you an idea, and the reason you're here is because you got excited because they were. Right? That's what happened to us. That's what happens to most people, is they come on and they look at this thing, and then the more you get around this thing, and the more you get around the people that are developing their business within this, the thing you find is they're a good bunch of people. Is there a fantastic group of people going somewhere? And the weird thing about it is it's not like a big group. It's not like a big group of people. It's a whole bunch of individuals. We just happen to be in the same business model, developing our own business within it. So we're all heading in the same direction. So you'll find as you move through and you develop this thing and get it started and you start having a bit of fun, you get around the people that are helping you here, and you realise the people that are the sort of this level, this platinum level and above, you'll notice they've always got a smile on their face, and they always look like they're having fun, and nothing seems to bother them, and it really drives you nuts, because you think, gee, I wish I was like them. All you got to remember is they were like you, right? And they just learned a bit. Okay, and it helps when you're making a few quid too. It's amazing how your attitude changes. So I don't know whether any of that helps you, but the idea of this hour is just a couple of things. Firstly, just let you know that it's pretty simple. Okay. More importantly, to let you know that this is the greatest opportunity you will ever have in your lifetime, bar anything. Anything. I haven't seen anything that gets close to what this can offer if you're prepared to have a crack. A good crack. Right? See, I heard this many times, but many years ago, but it's still valid today. I see hundreds and hundreds of people, okay, that want to be diamonds. Okay, if you're not sure what diamond means, just ask somebody. But it's when you're making a quid, right? But I've seen hundreds and thousands of people, whatever profession, trade, background, regardless, I've seen thousands of people that all they want to do is be a diamond. But you know, I've never seen a diamond that wants to be anything else. And I remember hearing that just as we were getting started. I'm thinking, that is right. That is absolutely correct. Now, even if you don't understand that, get around a few of those diamond things and you'll realise why you'd like to be where they're at. Right? It's incredible. It's an amazing journey you're embarking on. It really is. It's an incredible journey you're embarking on. Okay, that over the next, just trying to get your head around the concept of the next year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, depend on what time and effort and learning you're prepared to go into, you can actually set yourself up to be so far ahead of where you are today, financially and in every other way, in fact. Right? If you're just prepared to step over that line in the sand and have a go and plug into someone that can help you. All right, so that's been great fun. See you later.